if you are joining me today, I am testing something a little bit different out. And trying to learn some new things. So I'm glad that you could join me. I hope that you can hear me. I can't see any comments yet, but I'm trying to stream today through Zoom to an event. So I'm not sure that we are in the right location. View stream on Facebook. Thank you all for being a little patient with me this morning as I figure out where we are.
Mom, somebody called you.
Honey, who is it?
I don't know. They didn't tell me their name.
All right, hold on just a moment, everyone. All right, hopefully I am back and in the right spot. I'm trying to make sure, so I'm sorry about the interruptions this morning. As you can tell, my kids are home from school. I hope that you can hear me. If you can and you're watching, would you give me like a thumbs up or a quick comment that you can hear? Oh, yay. All right, you can hear me. All right, we are going to make this card today, this really cute Hello Friend card. And I'm going to show you a couple of techniques that are special and specific to this card. Hi, Kim. Hi, Kathy. I'm sorry, I had to mute for just a second because there was a phone call upstairs and the kids did not know or didn't remember that I was in the middle of a video and trying to do something important. So I don't know if we are live in the event that I created, which is what I hoped would happen, but I can't tell. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with our card for today. And I think I moved everything around so that you can see my workspace. I meant to make it so that you could see my face too if you wanted to, but I don't see how to make that work just yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the card and I'm just gonna go with the flow. So if you do want to call in to Zoom in the event, there should be a link where you can do that. Let's go ahead and get started with this card. So first I have a piece of basic black, and this is 4 1/4 by 11. Let's see, I can scoot my things around a little bit here based on what I'm seeing that everyone else sees. So we're going to turn this sideways and we are going to score it at 5 1/2. So I'm just going to put it in my trimmer and use my scoring blade to score that at 5 1/2. And I can fold it this way and just run my bone folder across there. You got the email. Okay. The link wasn't for today, Kim. That was a different event. So the link that would have come in the email, that's for next Friday's class. And I'll give you a quick preview of that at the end when we're done with this card. So I wanted to show you today something that I think you may not know about yet. So this is the label that I cut out of basic black using my Big Shot machine. Now, Big Shot is the older version of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I used a die from the Painted Labels dies. I use these all the time. These are some of my favorite dies. They go with the Painted Poppies stamp set. So there's two dies that go with the Painted Poppies stamp set. There's Painted Labels and Poppy. Let's see. Poppy Moments. So Poppy Moments cuts out more of the flower shapes, but the Painted Labels has these two frames that I really like, and this really cool swirly circle, and then this frame. Now these other pieces are for the flowers, but this is a really cute little edge die too. So let me put that aside. And then today we're going to be using the Sale-a-bration reward. So this is Sale-a-bration paper, and it is called Friendly Hello Designer Series Paper. And it actually comes with this stamp set. So if you order $100 in Stampin' Up products, until the end of this month, you can get this set, the stamp and the paper, free with your $100 order. So this is the stamp we're going to use today. We're going to use Hello Friend. And when I open up my stamps, I always tuck that little top sheet behind them so that it doesn't get lost. Anything clear is really easy to lose, I feel like. All right, I'm going to set that to the side. And then I'm going to line up my Hello Friend stamp so that it's hopefully nice and straight and slightly over to the right hand side, because we're going to add this little flower on the left. Now this card came in a kit that I made, and that's why you'll see that the shape around that is a little bit different than the one we're using today. So I'm using my Stamparatus. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something. So hold on. When you're using the Stamparatus, there are two different types of stamps that Stampin' Up sells. We sell a photopolymer stamp, which is what this is, and then a red rubber cling stamp. When you are using the Stamparatus with photopolymer stamps, you want to have this foam piece that it comes with your Stamparatus, but you want to have it in there when you're stamping. Now I had mine out because the last time I was stamping, I was using the red rubber stamps, and I find they make a nicer impression without that pad underneath because they already have some cushion to them, where the photopolymer stamps don't have any cushion. So when you're stamping, you always want to have a little bit of cushion somewhere in your stamp. So if you're using photopolymer, you want to have, with your Stamparatus, you want to have this foam mat inside there. If you're not using the stamparatus, you want to stamp on the Stampin' Pierce mat underneath. Okay, so now we're going to pick up our stamp, and today I'm using Versamark, which is a watermark stamp pad. And we are going to tap that on our stamp until it's covered. Oh, and usually I put something underneath my plate over here to help hold it kind of level with the table, but I forgot today in the midst of trying to get all of my other stuff in order, my electronic stuff. It took me all morning. So we're going to press our plate down. And there we have our image. I don't know if you can see that image or not. See how it's, you just see the shininess of it. And then what we're going to do is take our, this is Stampin' Emboss powder, and this is white. So we're going to spread it around, and I just tap the container a little bit so that I get a little bit at a time. And then we can kind of tip it off into there. And I always give it a couple good shakes because you don't want those little leftover bits to be in there. So let me grab a brush real quick. And I'm just going to use this little paintbrush. And it's just dry. So I'm just trying to knock off the little extra bits that I don't want to stick around. Now, I don't have an embossing buddy, but that's a special tool that helps keep those little extra pieces from sticking to your paper. They really just stick there because of the static. And so you want to get them off of there if you can. And I've got some right in the middle of that, those two L's. There we go. All right, and now we are and you'll notice that I am not going to dump this back into my embossing powder. That's because down in here, you can see that I have used glitter embossing powder, and I don't want to mix the two up. So if I want my embossing powder to stay as clear and clean as it can, then I just dump it out at the end. Now, sometimes I will pour it over a piece of paper if I feel like it's going to be a lot of embossing powder that gets wasted. But otherwise, I just dump it. Okay, let me have my embossing tool. Oops. And this is an old embossing tool. I don't have the new Stampin' Up one. You'll notice that I use a lot of my stuff until I can't use it anymore before I get a new one, because that lets me buy more stamps and more ink. Now, this might get loud for just a moment, but I want to be up close enough where maybe you can see the change that'll happen when I turn the embossing gun on. Okay, do you see how it's starting to change color there? And now I have to turn it. Now I need to turn it a little bit because it's getting a little too close to my fingers. And do the other side. Okay, and now if I hold it up here, you can see that it's shiny where that embossing powder caught the ink, and it's a little bit raised up. So that's what gives you that different look of the embossing powder. This is called heat embossing. Okay, so now we have this piece and that's ready. I'm going to clean this stamp off and put that one away. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm going to try to do over the next couple of days a few extra videos, just trying to figure out the best angle for the camera and how to hopefully get everything to work together. I've been working on trying to build a website and get emails out. So if you haven't signed up for my email yet, you should do that, because I will be sending out lots of information about upcoming classes and all those kinds of things. Next, we are going to use this flower here. And I'm just going to peel that one out and set this to the side. Okay, and first we're going to take our piece of green. And this one actually is right in the center. So we're going to line our stamp up so that it's going to stamp a little outline around the flower in our paper. Now, this is one of the cool things about this stamp set and this paper is it does line up so that when you're stamping, you can stamp inside the image or you can stamp the edge of the image. The stamps and paper don't always line up quite so nicely like that. Oh, Susie, I can see that you said something. Let me move this. It is hard to get a good camera angle. I just signed up for the website this last week, and I have been trying to figure out I don't even know exactly what to put on there, or if I need to go so far as to get a DBA or a business license, or I'm really not sure what I'm doing, but I know I don't want to do the wrong things. And I don't want to build it up too fast where I can't keep up with whatever I have going on, because that's been a real struggle for me. And thank you. I can see that you're offering to help me, but I can't. I'm going to have to read through the comments later. And I just stamped my arm. Did you guys see that? I reached right across there and stamped my arm. It's all right. It actually is kind of a cute little image. So it'll be just fine. Okay, and to stamp that, I didn't show you, I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. All right, and I'm just going to stamp that image on my paper. And I didn't line it up perfectly, but it's kind of it's just a nice addition to the paper. And since I'm going to stamp another image of that flower, I'm just going to stamp it down one more time so that I'll know where to put my white piece of paper. And this is just a piece of basic white. And I really only want one of these flowers the second time. I gotta move my paper just a little bit. My magnet was in the way. And I'll press it down. And there I have my next image. Now, before I stamp myself again, I'm going to clean off my stamp. If I can find where I put my chamois. I've been trying to move things around so that they're all in a place where I can find them, where what I use the most is in the closest spot to me. But I haven't gotten used to where everything is now. And so I keep reaching the wrong direction for all the things I'm trying to find. Okay, and I'm going to put this stamp back away over here. And I want to show you a coloring technique that I was actually, excuse me, I was actually doing this weekend when I was at my card retreat. And I just happened to be using it, and it turns out that a lot of people don't exactly know about it. So what I have here is a tiny Stampin' Spot. This came in one of my monthly Paper Pumpkins. If you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you will get at least one of these Stampin' Spots every month. And while we're on the subject of that, I am really excited about the March Paper Pumpkin because it looks like it's going to coordinate perfectly with the On the Horizon suite. And I absolutely love that suite and the paper. It's so beautiful. And that's what my card class will be about next Friday. We're making 4 cards using that suite. So back to our coloring. So I'm going to take this Granny Apple green ink pad and open it up, and I'm going to stamp it down on my Stamparatus acrylic plate and just set it to the side. And then I'm going to use a blender pen. Now they come in a set of 3. And when they first come, they don't have any color to them. So whatever you use them with, it picks up that color. The view is good. Can you see, Kim, can you see everything you need to see? Or does it need to be closer to the project? So I'm just gonna put this blender pen in my ink and get a little bit at a time. And what I like to do when I'm coloring is start with the lines in the center of the flower. So I'm just going to go along all those lines and then work kind of quickly to color in the rest of the petal. And we're working with, this is basic white paper. Keep that in mind because you're not going to want to go over and over and over your work, because that'll just be too hard on your paper. So again, we're going to start in the center and then work our way out to the edges of the petal for each petal going around. Okay, and each time I'm just going to pick up a little more ink, and I start with those center lines and then work my way to the edges. Now, if you have a different system that works for you, then that is what you should do. But I just find that this works the best for me as far as I like the results that it gets. I like the shading of it, of the petals. And I can usually work quickly enough that I don't tear up my paper. I like to try and give my flowers just a little bit of shape. And I find this is a good way to do it. Let's see, I've got one more here. And then what I can do is take the end of my blender pen and just color on my paper until I notice that the color's not coming off anymore. And then I just put the cap on and put it back for the next time. Now with all my blender pens, I try to use them as long as possible. So I keep one side for dark colors and one side for light colors. And that seems to work out well for me. Now next, I'm not going to color the center of this flower because I'm just going to put a gem in there. But I am going to take my chamois and I'm going to wipe off my acrylic plate. And that ink will just it'll come right off of there when you use your chamois. And then I did want to tell you, if you ever get sticky stuff on your acrylic block, I find that the best way to clean it off is with a paper towel and hand sanitizer. Because of the alcohol in the hand sanitizer, it works really good for taking off sticky bits. Now I am going to take my snips and I'm going to cut this flower out. And we're just going to fussy cut it because there's not a die or a punch that goes with this set. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see. And here's a tip for when you're fussy cutting. It really helps to turn your paper and not your scissors. So sometimes I do turn my scissors, but I try really hard not to. Unless it's just little tiny bits. But I do find I get a nicer image if I turn my paper and not my scissors. Plus it tends to be a little bit easier on my hands. All right, and I don't know why, but I can't see all of your comments right now. I need to find a way to scroll down and see if you have any questions. But I will go back and answer them. So if you do have questions about Sale-a-bration or the stamp set or any of the measurements or anything, I will go back and answer them. Okay, so here's our flower. Here is our sentiment. I'm just going to move this out of the way. And we can put our card together. So here's our card base. And let's see, does it look? It's in the middle about either way that I put it. So I'm just going to turn it over and maybe I'll have to adjust my sentiment a little bit to show off those pieces that we colored. And I'm using my liquid glue. And I just do a thin line around the edge and then a squiggle down the middle. And this glue is very sticky, so you don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. Let's see. And I think I like it this way the best. And this time we're going to stick it down on the kind of in the bottom right corner. So I'm just going to line it up with that edge and press it down. All right, and next we're going to need some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I have some little, the mini dimensionals right here. So I'm just going to use those. And there's that. And maybe I'll put one in the middle just because they're the mini ones. And peel off the backs. 2, 3, 4. That one didn't come on. All right, and I can turn it over. And I think I'm going to put it down a little further. I don't like it up higher. So I'm going to put it down a little further so we can see that part that we stamped. And I'm going to keep it a little bit to the right. And then I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on my flower. Oh, you can see I was testing out some stamps on that, on that sheet. I didn't realize that, but all right, so here is, let's see, maybe it should go this way. Right there. And then I am going to put on one of these iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. These are probably my current favorite jewels. They're so pretty, so shiny. And they have a lot of color to them. All right, so I am going to get my take your pick tool. And I'm going to use the sticky gooey end. And I'm just going to slide one off the sheet. And I'm going to put it right in the center of that flower. And there is our card. Now, if you make a card on dark cardstock like this, on the inside, I always cut a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4. And I put a piece of white inside there so that it's easier to write on. But you can see that those turn out really cute. It's really easy with that paper. And I hope you learned a little something new about embossing and possibly coloring today. So you can use any, oh, I better put these back before I forget. You can use any coloring tools that you have or any stamp set and paper to make a card like this. You just need to cut it 4 1/4 by 11, and then you're going to score it at 5 1/2 so that it opens top ways instead of the usual fold. And we use Stampin' Emboss white powder, Versamark ink, and Tuxedo black memento ink. So anytime through, now this paper and stamp set is only available through the end of February. So if you place a $100 order, you can choose that as one of your free, I want to say free gifts, but free rewards. Oh, I think I see how to move my comments. I'm just gonna look real quick and see if you had any questions. No, I still can't see all the comments. Okay, I don't know. My replies, live chat, overview. I don't know why I can't see all your comments, you guys. Oh, now it's letting me scroll. No, it's not. Okay, so before I go, I don't know what's going on with that. I can't figure it out. I wanted to tell you about the class next Friday and the way that it works. So it's an event and it's $4.99 for the class. So for your fee, I will send you the PDF file for the cards and I'll do a video instruction. Now, if you can't be live for the video instruction, I will record it and I will send it to you. So either way, you get video instruction and the PDF for the $4.99. So these are the cards that we're going to be making. These are all using the On the Horizon suite. Okay, and you can see my little notes to myself about what size everything is. So there's 4 different cards. And then I'll show you what suite comes with too. So the colors of cardstock that you'd need to make them exactly like this, you need Misty Moonlight, Blackberry Bliss, and Basic Black. You need Sahara Sand, and then this edge is Misty Moonlight again. This is thick Basic White, and this embossed part is just Basic White, and then Blackberry Bliss. And I use the Bark 3D embossing folder. And let me show you what comes in the On the Horizon set. So you get, if you ordered the whole suite, you get a spool of each of these ribbons. You get Misty Moonlight and Blushing Bride. You also get these pebble enamel shapes. You get the On the Horizon stamp set, the On the Horizon paper, and the Horizon dies. So that's what you get if you order the whole suite. So if you ordered the suite and the cardstock that you need to make these cards, I think that would get you really close to the $100 that you need to get the paper. Now all of a sudden I can't remember the name of it. The Friendly Hello paper and the stamp set. Now, if you want to, you can contact me and I will put together a kit for you about these cards. So a class kit would include, you get the cardstock for each card. For 8 cards, you would get 8 envelopes. You get 2 yards of ribbon. You get a sheet of the Horizon, the pebble enamel shapes. You get a half a pack of the Horizon paper. And I think that's everything. So the only thing that you would still need if you ordered the class kit is you would need your stamp set, your ink, and your adhesive. So if you do that, I give you all the cardstock and I cut out the dies for you and emboss any of the embossed pieces. I just wanted to explain that real quick in case you had any questions about what's included in the supply kit or what's included with the class price and that kind of stuff. But anytime you have any questions, just let me know and I can help you with that. I'm not sure if you can still hear me or if I'm still on Zoom. I think that I am. Well, I know I'm still on Zoom, but I don't know if I'm still on Facebook. So let me see. Oh, it looks like I am. Okay. So thank you for joining me today for today's card. I'm going to know that I am working on the email list. If you want to share the email landing page with anyone you know who would like to come to classes on Zoom. Right now, I'm just doing them on Zoom. I really would like to do some in-person classes, but I'm just not sure yet where I would do them and during what time frame. So if daytime classes work better or if evening classes would be better, for me, most of the time, daytime is better because then I can do that while everyone else is out of the house. Since I don't have a separate studio or space. Let me know if you like the card today and if you have signed up for the next event. I will see you soon. I will be doing more videos this weekend. I'm not sure exactly when the next one will be, but I'll try to post ahead of time. Have a wonderful snow day. If you're having a snow day today, I hope you have lots of time for creativity and fun. I'll talk to you guys soon.